Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name is Alan Devlin. We are here every day at 8 o'clock to bring you some of our top stories, both locally, nationally, and sometimes internationally, depending on what is happening in our planet. I started off the broadcast here with this beautiful live sunset. This is a live image right now. Take a look as that sun continues to set. I actually can't even tell which camera this is from because of that glare from the sun, but it's beautiful regardless. Couple of things I want to talk to you guys about here today. 3 stories we've got lined up for you. We're going to start, I guess, local. We're going to start local here in our area. It's a little ways west towards Alabama, Villa Rica. It's a town in Brett, which county? It was Gordon County, right? Douglas County. I see. I don't know even why I forgot that. Douglas County, Villa Rica, small little town. Maybe you're familiar with it. Their police department is experiencing some scrutiny because of a social media post that they put up recently, and it's a lot of, I guess, back and forth misunderstandings and explanations right now, because I'll let this one speak for itself. I want to show you some images from target practice. It was a police issued shooting practice there with the Villa Rica Police Department, and their targets depict black men. A black man holding a gun, and you can see it here for yourself. These are some of the images that they posted on their social media page. There was no mention word-wise of the targets being black, but they quickly went viral, and a lot of people took offense to the fact that the department would choose specifically black men as their shooting target practice. It was a gun safety training exercise. They invited members of the community to come out and learn how to use a weapon safely, and what you have here is a row of these black men that are acting as the target, these black African-American silhouettes. Now, mind you, a lot of the time when you see these silhouettes, you see faceless, bodiless characters, outlines, actual silhouettes is most oftenly used. These specifically were the ones that were used for this practice training facility. But what we also got was the Villa Rica police chief explaining that, look, we used this day a lot of different racial backgrounds, genders of targets. It was just randomized. And he showed Atlanta News First, white man, a white woman, another white man, a black woman, this long array of, I guess, diversity when it comes to what these targets are. And he also said that they're all their targets, all their equipment is approved by the Georgia Peace Officer Standard Training Protocol. And so it seems like it's a little bit of a misunderstanding that what you have here is what they posted online did not show any of those other targets. It was purely just that the black man as the target, which is why we're having a problem, which is why the NAACP is getting involved as well, saying that Villa Rica needs to do better, because what you have is a shortened, I guess, for a lack of better words, sense of what's going on, a shortened perspective of exactly what was happening that day. The perspective was not full for the Villa Rica Police Department, and what you got is the outrage you have now. So they're kind of in backpedaling mode. They're explaining what's happening, and they're defending themselves, and the NAACP is working with them to make sure it doesn't happen again. Bottom line is both sides have decided that there is room for improvement, and they'll make sure that even if they are posting on social media, you're keeping something like that in mind, because obviously it did not go well for the police department. The next story I want to talk to you guys about here today is one that has been captivating the entire world for a while now. This Oceangate submersible that is still missing with only hours to go before the life support on board is supposed to run out. We've been talking about this for several days. This is what it looks like. It dropped down over the weekend, late Sunday, early Monday, and it's been gone ever since. They lost communication with the surface about 2 hours into that voyage, and there's 5 people on board that are trapped, still trapped at this hour, and they've been missing ever since. They've got until tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, we believe, less than 12 hours of time left before the air on board this vessel is supposed to run out. This thing has done voyages before. It is not approved by any federal entity. It is basically a private company that operates without any sanction or any registration or any kind of approval. And it's got 5 people on board right now, 1 billionaire, I believe his son, a pilot, a Titanic historian who actually has ties to the metro area. He is the director of a company out of Peachtree Corners, and then a 5th passenger as well on board this thing, and they've been missing for 2 days now. The latest installment in this saga, which is trying to find this submersible, has been that we're hearing banging in that search area, which is, I think, 2 times the size of Connecticut and 2.5 miles deep into the ocean, because that Titanic sits about 14,000 miles below the surface in the Atlantic Ocean, a little ways off the coast of Boston, New York, that kind of area up north, the northeast part of the Atlantic Ocean. And we're hearing banging every 30 minutes on sonar that was picked up by a plane searching the area. So they're trying to track down where that banging's coming from, because they believe that there is a chance it could be this submersible. Because for it to be happening in 30-minute intervals like that, and also just so happens to be happening where they're looking for this submarine, who knows? They might get lucky. Hope is definitely still on the table right now, but unfortunately time is running out for the 5 people on board. We've had miracles happen before in situations like this. This is not the first time a sea vessel has gone missing on the water, under the water, wherever it is. They have been captured. I mean, not captured, saved. They have been saved before, rescued before. This remains. They made it very, very clear. Coast Guard and the Navy made it clear. This is a search and rescue mission, not a recovery mission at this time. So keep your thoughts and prayers in favor of all 5 of those people on board. That must be a terrifying experience that's been going on the last several days. And the last story I want to talk to you guys about is back here in the metro area. An organization is actually helping families afford diapers, because believe it or not, I mean, honestly, I don't have to tell a lot of you guys, if you are parents, diapers are pretty expensive. You can run $80 a month per child to get a diaper. I guess the exchange of diapers as that child continues to grow for years. $80 a month if you got 2 kids, $160 a month on diapers alone, not including education, daycare, clothes, food, all that other stuff. And so this organization that Abicosaurus is getting ready to tell us about is helping those families afford diapers. Take a listen.
Marissa Vasquez is a proud mother of 2, a toddler and an 8-month-old. Even generic, a pack of diapers costs her at least $50.
It was low at first, and then it gets higher and higher.
And both of her daughters need diapers. The National Diaper Bank Network found a monthly supply of diapers costs about $80 a child. A new report found nearly half of U.S. families with young children struggle to afford diapers. This is up from 1 in 3 families in 2010.
Because sometimes you don't have enough money to pay the diapers, or have enough to pay the milks.
In Georgia, there are 5 diaper banks working to ease the burden on families with tight budgets, including Helping Mamas in Norcross. Together, these diaper banks distribute more than 1 million diapers every year.
It's okay to ask for help. You are not alone.
CEO Jamie Lackey says more women are calling them desperate to get more diapers. The National Diaper Bank Network found that more than half of women in the workforce have children under the age of 3. And many are still struggling to keep up with the daily diaper demand.
Diapers open doors for our families, right? Their basic needs, their basic items.
Helping Mamas distributes diapers across the state with giveaways, partnerships with local organizations, and their personal programs for low-income mothers. Lackey said she'd like to see the state do more to help private organizations fighting for families.
And then you have it, Helping Mamas, truly helping mamas, honestly. So with those 3 stories, I want to take you guys back outside now. We've got meteorologist Patrick Pete, who is about to line up and talk about, honestly, what's been some pretty rainy weather all over the place. My goodness. Patrick Pete's coming up right now. Actually, you know what, Patrick? I don't even have your max up. Didn't even put it up here, so I'm going to put it up here while you can go ahead and walk into your forecast, and then I'll get that squared away on this end.
Yeah, that gives me a good time. While we stare at the sunset, we can talk about the fact that we're still watching for some showers and thunderstorms tonight. There's still a first alert for tomorrow. And then things dry out just in time for the weekend. Temperatures are going to warm, so it's going to be a good weekend for maybe some indoor basketball, if you're not scared. If you're not scared.
Wait. Hold on, wait. So this is the first time I've actually had to come back. So what we've got is we've got a producer here at Atlanta News First that doesn't want to play basketball with the rest of the Atlanta News First team. I don't get it. Me and Patrick are going to be playing. It's a good little coworker opportunity. And yet I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say any names.
What I will say is that it does have the same name as a tropical storm that's out in the Atlantic.
All right, I'm going to hand it back over to
You know what, Brett? Brett, I can pull up that second camera real quick for you. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, you are having a terrific Wednesday. It's wind down Wednesday. It's a little damp outside, so you're going to want to do that inside. Showers are going to linger intermittently through the night and unfortunately into the day tomorrow. So we're going to keep that first alert going. Flood potential out there for sure. A flood watch now in effect for parts of North Georgia until Friday evening. And so we don't expect it to rain until Friday evening, but all of this water that we're getting right now has to run off somewhere. And we can see some creeks and streams and rivers, tributaries, all of that stuff start to rise as we head through the next couple of days. So that could lead to some isolated flooding. The good news, we do trend drier as we head towards the weekend, and it will eventually get a little bit warmer. So I hope that you all are having a fantastic evening, and let's go ahead and get through this forecast so that we can get outside, because just been a little bit too damp to do so over the course of the last couple of days. I mentioned that flood watch, and all of the areas that you see highlighted here on this map are under that flood watch until Friday at 8 p.m. as we're just watching more rain build into the region through the day tomorrow. First alert, as rounds of rain and thunderstorms are going to be in the cards for us. I do expect some of that on the roads for tomorrow morning, and I do expect the greatest coverage to be earlier on. So it's going to kind of be the opposite of how things have been the last couple of days, where it's really kind of taken off in the afternoon and evening. I expect more showers and storms in the morning, and then for them to become more scattered in nature as we push into the afternoon. And then you can kind of see that rotation lifting off towards the north and east. That's going to be that system starting to pull away from our area. There's still going to be some residual on the backside of that, so still a low in rain chance Thursday evening, but really not expecting as much coverage as what we're seeing tonight. So a few isolated showers are going to be possible earlier Friday, but I expect the bulk of the day to be dry. And rain chances actually less than 30%. And then Saturday, it's just going to be gorgeous. Lots of sunshine, temperatures climbing into the mid-80s, and even nicer weather if you like the heat and the humidity as we head towards Sunday. A few more clouds around, so not a bad day to maybe get a run as long as you're staying hydrated. Meanwhile, another first alert coming down the pipeline as we head into the beginning of next week. You can see that right now guidance is hitting at showers and some thunderstorms. We're going to have to continue to study the atmosphere here. Right now, severe weather looks like it could be possible, so we'll have to stay on top of this system as it pushes through the region on Monday. It's also going to give you reasons to check back in as we continue to dive deeper into that environment. Meanwhile, great weekend to be by the pool, great weekend to be outdoors in the backyard, mid-80s Saturday. I do think we'll hit 90 degrees in a lot of locations on Sunday, and then we'll be cooler as clouds and rain and thunderstorms move in with that system on Monday. Something that's interesting with this forecast, in addition to finally drying out, is the fact that those dew points are feeling like they should feel in June. We've kind of had a very comfortable start to June, with the exception of this week, where the humidity really hasn't been too bad, but we will get into that downright disrespectful category as we head towards Sunday into Monday, as those dew points get into the low to mid 70s on both of those days. So go ahead and be prepared for it. You're not going to want to be outside much as we head into those days. Meanwhile, my Tropical Storm Brett is sustained at 65 miles per hour, moving to the west at 15. So it has intensified a little bit over the course of the last couple of hours, and we could see some slight strengthening as it continues to move towards the west. It is encountering a little bit of wind shear, but if you actually kind of like stare at the structure of the storm, you can kind of see that it isn't really shearing it apart a whole lot at this moment. We do expect the wind shear to increase within the next 24 to 48 hours, which means that at that point, we should start to see this storm weakening. Right now, it's about 330 miles to the east of Barbados, and this is all information as of 8 o'clock. So guidance is continuing to push it along towards the west, eventually moving through portions of the Lesser Antilles sometime late Thursday into Friday, although they'll start to get the impacts a little bit before that as some of those outer rain bands start to move in. And of course, they're going to have those enhanced waves. And then as it continues to the west into the Caribbean, it is expected to dissipate. So we should not be dealing with any tropical system from this particular entity as we head into your Saturday evening. Meanwhile, right behind Brett is another system that's starting to develop. About an 80% chance that we could be dealing with a depression over the course of the next couple of days. This system not looking as healthy or robust as Brett has looked over the course of its lifetime. But because the atmosphere, at least for the next day or so, is pretty conducive to development, we do expect for this to gradually get its act together. Thunderstorms should start to bubble up a little bit closer to the center of circulation. Right now, you can kind of see how it's stretched. It's a bit longer. It's actually an elongated area of low pressure. The center of circulation hasn't tightened. If it does, they'll probably go ahead and call this a tropical depression sometime within the next 24 hours. And we'll have to watch that cluster of unorganized thunderstorm activity that's moving off the coast of Africa. Admittedly, I know some of you are probably hurricane enthusiasts, and you know that we don't typically look to this part of the Atlantic Basin this time of year for hurricane development. But something that we're missing that we typically have this time of year out there is higher wind shear. It's not too bad right now. And also the Saharan dust layer is not active. And there's a lot of studies that are researching the relation to El Nino and essentially everything that happens on the earth, but more specifically the Saharan dust layer. And with the absence of that dust out there, we do not have that environment that would reduce thunderstorm activity. So looking a little bit more robust. Of course, we'll have to continue to watch this. You'll want to stay dialed in as we head through the next couple of days. Right now, neither one of these systems look like they're going to impact us. But hey, listen, some folks have plans to go to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica. All those places are just like quick flights from here. And so we'll stay on top of that so that, we can keep you covered with all of your summer travel plans, even though we will be right here at Atlanta News First. So as we look at the 7-day forecast, you'll see that temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow because of the rain and the thunderstorms. But then we bounce back into the 80s as we start to lose both of those things. The weekend's looking sunny and bright and warm and humid. Another first alert for rain and thunderstorms on Monday. And then things start to dry out Tuesday. We're back near 90 by Wednesday. So I'll leave you with the 7-day. I will take a look real quick to see if anybody has any questions or comments on YouTube, and I see the comments, but they are not in relation to weather. They're about something else. So hold on. Yeah, so that's about, you guys are fascinated with the submarine story. It's kind of a big talker. The clock is ticking, so we're all praying that this can come to a positive resolution and they can find those folks. We'll stay on top of that, and any updates we get, we will give them to you as we receive them. So newscast coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to leave you with the 7-day, and I will catch you guys on the airwaves.